Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nerdrotic.com.
Did we say let the past die? Kill it if you have to? That might have been a little bit premature. What we really meant to say was we love the past and we want to bathe in it. At least that's the message we got from the Disney please give us money because our parks are closed and there won't be any theaters in the next calendar year meeting. Well, it's been a roller coaster ride with Disney Star Wars over the last 72 hours and quite honestly the last year. We have a couple of rumors to talk about, including one from my good friend and co-host of The Inquisition and Exozone, Dictor Van Doomcock, and another from Grace Randolph. And of course, we have all the announcements or re-announcements from Kathleen Kennedy, who is clearly secure in her job. As I stated on Twitter, she has the Bob's Huevos in the top desk drawer in her office that she won't be leaving until she is damn good and ready. Warner Brothers dropped a bomb on Hollywood and Disney last week by announcing they're going to release their entire 2021 slate on HBO Max and in theaters. That was just for optics. And you have to wonder how much that affected the Disney Investor Seminar. I'm guessing there was a lot of last-minute photoshopping going on. Disney Star Wars is no stranger to announcements. Of course, we have the Rian Johnson trilogy, which is not happening. It did not get mentioned at all in this seminar. And we had the Dan and Dave trilogy. We know that one went down the toilet right after Game of Thrones Season 8, but I'm sure they had nothing to do with each other. We had the ObiWan movie, which was repurposed into a series, and we had the Boba Fett movie, which is going to be repurposed in a series that was not announced in this seminar, but it's part of the Grace Randolph rumor. And again, we're going to get to all these announcements, but let's start with that Ahsoka series and that very curious logo. New Ahsoka series to erase Disney's Star Wars sequel trilogy. Now, Doomcock reported months ago that he heard from his sources that some people at Disney were considering erasing the sequel trilogy at the time. I did not believe this rumor. I don't think Disney has the desire to get rid of Rey Skywalker, what they consider to be the first female lead in a Star Wars film, and that's certainly true for Disney Star Wars, along with Finn and Poe. They just released a holiday special, but you have to admit, it's a little interesting that they didn't bring up the sequel trilogy at all. They only referred to it in a single picture. And as a matter of fact, we'll look at that picture later. It has two blatant omissions that we need to discuss. And those two omissions, I think, really tell us where Star Wars is going. And we will get to that momentarily. But first, let's cover this rumor briefly. The Ahsoka Show was announced during the Disney Investor Day 2020 presentation, with Kathleen Kennedy stating, "Today I'm excited to share with you that John and Dave are concurrently developing two new spin-off series exclusively for Disney+." She continued, one, The Rangers of the New Republic, which is probably going to be the Cara Dune show, all right, and the other feature fan favorite, Ahsoka Tano.
Set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, these interconnected shows, along with future stories, will excite new audiences, embrace our most passionate fans, and will culminate in a climactic story event.
Doesn't Kathleen Kennedy just scream passion right there? Now, I find it interesting that it's going to culminate in a climactic story event like Infinity War and Endgame, because they are clearly taking the MCU route with Star Wars, like everyone guessed after the first 5 minutes of The Mandalorian. Now, what does this have to do with the world between worlds and time travel in Star Wars? This logo. And I have to admit, the first time I saw it, I thought about the world between worlds. Now, Doomcock refers to it as the Veil of the Force. I don't remember it being called that, but I'm not an expert on Rebels. I've seen every episode once, and that was years ago. I did watch this particular episode, and I always thought it was just something Dave Filoni came up with so he could save his beloved Ahsoka Tano. Now, if you look at the Ahsoka logo compared to the portal for the World Between Worlds, there are some similarities in the writing or iconography around the edge, but that's about it. Do I actually believe they will erase the sequel trilogy? Like I said before, no. Could they? Sure, other franchises have done this. Terminator recently to disastrous results, and DC Comics does it regularly, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Again, I want it to. Maybe when Disney comes up with the technology to actually erase the Disney trilogy from our minds, that would happen. Now, Doomcock then speculates that this climactic story event that Kathleen Kennedy was talking about will be the erasure and decanonization of the Disney sequel trilogy. Again, I would love to believe that, but my guess is all roads lead to Rey Palpatine, Grampy Palpy, and the Disney trilogy. And they're going to use every show in the Mandalorian timeline just like they used the Clone Wars for the prequels. What else makes me think that? This timeline, which was provided to us from Star Wars just today, where it says everything leads to the First Order. All that being said, the Disney trilogy was completely ghosted during this presentation, and we have to keep that in mind. So again, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. Doomcock is my friend, and I fully support his right to report whatever the hell he wants on his channel. Rumors have been a part of Hollywood since its inception. Now, Grace Randolph has some that I completely doubt, although it is strange that apparently they are currently filming Boba Fett and it wasn't mentioned.
Do you remember Boba Fett?
Gotta give it up for Boba Fett.
Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin might get sidelined in favor of Boba Fett for Mandalorian Season 3.
I remember him. I remember his costume.
He's got a backpack and he flies!
He could shoot a wire out of his forearm and wrap you around.
From Grace Randolph's Twitter, look, I will never retract my Pedro Pascal story because it's true. I'm glad the behind-the-scenes drama hasn't affected Season 2 so far. Kudos to Favreau and Filoni for protecting it, and that drama was Pedro Pascal wanting to take off his helmet, which he did last episode. They didn't announce the Boba Fett show yesterday, even though it's filming. Is he the star of Mando 3? I don't think so. I think Disney wants to make more content and make more money, so I think they're going to do The Mandalorian and Boba Fett.
The Sarlacc pit monster, bud.
He's so cool and mysterious, he wears a mask!
He got out of the Sarlacc pit!
Yet this is Disney Star Wars, run by Kathleen Kennedy, who shot 70 to 90% of Solo before they fired the directors and brought in Ron Howard, the same Disney Star Wars that's announced a lot of plans but didn't have one for the Disney trilogy. Remember when Disney Star Wars wanted to press pause on the Star Wars films, which they have done after Solo, hashtag Solo lost money, and after the disaster that was the Disney trilogy? Remember when Bob Iger said less is more as it relates to Star Wars? Remember when Kathleen Kennedy said her point of view was that there are more Star Wars stories ahead of us than behind us?
It's time to let old things die.
Well, it turns out, at least for the time being, they are trying to erase the Disney trilogy from your memory by sitting in the past. Not a single project that was announced this past Thursday moves the story forward. They're all prequels.
Today, I'm excited to share with you that John and Dave are concurrently developing 2 new spin-off series exclusively for Disney+. The Rangers of the New Republic, and the other featuring fan favorite Ahsoka Tano.
Skywalker, the Sith, the Jedi, the Rebels, let it all die. No, you're still holding on! Let go!
Now, do we have a problem?
No.
Oh, that's good, because I thought we had a problem for a minute there, huh? All right, now, get out there and make me some goddamn money, huh?
Well, it looks like neither of these shows will be out until 2024, so a lot can change. These are the most interesting to me, and I think they have the most potential because they are run by Jon Favreau. And as long as they stay away from identity politics and they stay away from intersectional feminism and stay as far away as possible from the Disney trilogy, I think they'll bring a lot of fans back into the fold. Unfortunately, they aren't going to stay away from the latter. Jon Favreau has said as much. Come in on episode 9, the First Order are not just starting out, they're pretty far along. So somehow things weren't necessarily managed as well as they could have been. Jon Favreau, 9/4/2019.
One of the most exciting and ambitious new series we have coming to Disney Plus in 2022 is Andor, a tense, nail-biting spy thriller in the Star Wars universe.
I don't know about you, but I don't care at all about the Cassian Andor show. He's just a spy that found some plans to a Death Star, which is nothing compared to a Starkiller base.
Last August at the D23 Expo in Anaheim, we announced the return of Ewan McGregor in the iconic role of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi for a special event series on Disney+. Our fans will be thrilled that Hayden Christensen will be returning in the role of Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century.
I can see people getting really excited about this one, and I'm happy for Hayden Christensen, but a rematch? Is that what you really want? As a Star Trek fan, I have witnessed what Star Trek Discovery has done to Star Trek canon by trying to insert characters where it really doesn't fit and trying to add to stories and canon where it just sticks out like a sore thumb, and alls I can see is a lot of pissed off people. Plus, you're putting Hayden Christensen up against David Prowse and James Earl Jones. Is he going to be in a mask all the time? Are we going to see Darth Vader without his mask on? How much is he actually going to be in it? I guess time will tell.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
We only have 2 shows debuting in 2021, and they're both animated. The Bad Batch, which is a spinoff from the Clone Wars, and Star Wars Visions, which could be the only show that potentially moves the Disney Star Wars universe forward with anime shorts a la the Animatrix, which was pretty damn good. This brings us to the identity politics portion of our video with former Harvey Weinstein assistant Leslie Headland's female-centric The Acolyte. Yes, it's supposed to be female-centric, and it's going to take place towards the end of the High Republic, a show that I will most certainly miss, and it won't be out until 2024 either. And we have Lando, brought to us by the guy who produced and wrote Dear White People. And this is another reason I don't think they're going to erase the sequel trilogy, but they might erase something else. Stay tuned, because I don't think Disney's going to stop being woke. Now, are they going to compartmentalize it by putting it in separate shows so they try to have something for everyone? Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do for now. Now, most of these shows were previously announced or previously rumored, like the Taika Waititi film that doesn't have a title. I guess it could potentially move the story forward, but I doubt it. The one surprise was Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, and my first thoughts there was I'm glad she locked that down before Wonder Woman 1984 came out and flopped. Came out.
We have a vast and expansive timeline in the Star Wars mythology, spanning over 25,000 years of history in the galaxy, with each era being a rich resource for storytelling.
And out of that 25,000 years, most of our stories are going to stay within 100 years of each other in the past. Now, this is the picture I was referring to earlier. You clearly see Rey having her head eaten by Darth Maul, Babu Frick, and Kylo Ren. You don't see Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. That is who has been erased. And it looks like they also erased the minds of a lot of investors, because Disney stock went up 15% after this meeting. And I guess all those investors forgot that Disney is in the business of fiction. Disney also magically made the investors forget that their parks probably won't be open at full capacity for another calendar year, and the same goes for theaters if they survive. But we did get a little insight. While a lot of people like The Mandalorian because it's mostly an inoffensive show that's not filled with identity politics and intersectional feminism, it seems like it's missing something, and Bob Chapek explains what that is.
You know the truth. Say it.
This will enable us to tell great stories, inspired by the perfect mix of creative excellence, enhanced by data-driven audience insights, delivered in ways that consumers want.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Product for direct-to-consumer platform, enhanced by audience-driven data. So much for wonder, so much for imagination, so much for storytelling. And I guess The Mandalorian is the best thing you can expect from something like that. I don't think it's going to get much better, but who knows? But at least it's not woke yet. Now, you can understand why somebody would get excited about a rumor over some repurposed announcements that were a clear reaction to the bomb Warner Brothers dropped on Hollywood and Disney a couple of weeks ago. You can't blame them when faced with the reality that all roads lead to Jake Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, and the First Order. I'm out. I have no skin in the game. I am just reporting on what I see. I am no longer a Star Wars fan, and if you are, I hope you get the good product you deserve. You've been loyal, but I don't know if you're going to get it from Disney Star Wars. It looks like they're just about to make the same mistakes they did before. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I'll see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Release the Snyder Cut.